Hello, peaceful mamas. I am so excited to hear what you thought of Cedric and Amber and what they shared. So their method of just healing the body is totally new to me. I have to admit I was really charmed, disarmed, taken in by Cedric's childlike smile and his joy. Hearing him talk about his anger, it really felt to me like a testament of his transformation and the effectiveness of his method. And then similar with Amber, she has a very high-functioning life and successful business, and to have had 3 moms during her formative years, that seems really a strong testimony also to what she's been able to process and achieve, and it sounds like this method is one of the big ones that's helped her. So I just wanted to share with you real quick, I've tried this strategy now a couple of times, and so I have a couple quick stories about my experience with you. One was I was falling asleep one evening preparing this interview series for you, and trying to let the thoughts of the day go so I could fall asleep. And I just was doing exactly what they said, like notice what's going on in my body. Maybe my thoughts are tempted to go somewhere, but I just try to focus on that part of my body, that part of my body, that part of my body, and then it passed, just like they said. And I did that several times with different things coming up, and then I slipped into the deepest sleep I remember having in a long time for about an hour, and then I woke up with such a start because I was drenched in sweat. I had too many blankets on, and my husband had come in later and was snuggling me, and it was just too warm, and it was just such a shock because of how deeply I'd been asleep. So it was it really did put me into a restful state. Another time, and so this brings up questions, if I could talk to them more, if I could have a part B to the interview, I would have another question to ask. There was another night, I've learned this strategy from other practitioners, local practitioners who do hands-on body work, and I mentioned it in one of the other interviews coming up, but when I get stressed, I have tension beneath my left shoulder blade, like discomfort and pain, a little bit of pain beneath my left shoulder blade. And I had my husband, not like a reassuring, loving touch. It was loving, but like the expert implies in the interview that's coming up. But I really had him push. I had him push hard, and I did some work to try and breathe into it and breathe out of it. But I was trying to get him to, I knew something was trapped there, an experience. Emotions are trapped there. Molecules of emotion get stuck in our body, and our body freezes. That fight or flight or freeze, and it freezes and it holds on to them. So I was trying to get them physically released. And so he did that while he was giving me a back massage one night, and afterwards when we were falling asleep, I just started bursting into tears because the discomfort was still there, and I went to that spot and I just sat there like we were taught in the interview, and I had a flashback of a car accident about 12 years ago, and it was dark, and all the traffic lights and the headlights, and this car came and it hit thanks be to God, probably 45 miles an hour. It hit the far side of my engine, and I remember my car spinning around, after it crunched, spinning around. I was helpless and having just the feeling, it wasn't even a thought, I don't think there was time, but the feeling of I could die, I might die. And so I was just crying because of this flashback was so vivid. These molecules of experiencing that were being released. They have been trapped there these 12 years. And so in this instance, and it's happened during other big trauma releases in my life, I couldn't separate the physical feeling from the memory. And so I would just ask them if I had another chance, could I have, with your coaching, could I have ignored the thoughts, the memory, the trauma memory, and really just focused on my body? Would it still work in this instance? I don't know, because my experience is this other way, right? That physical release of the body brings up the molecules of emotion themselves carry the memory with it, and then remembering it and feeling it. Now that I'm safe, feeling all that fear helps me release it and let it go, and then there's healing that way too. But I would also really love to hear your comments with respect and thoughtfulness. What did you learn from this interview? What was insightful for you? Have you tried it yet? What's your experience? And what questions do you still have for Cedric and Amber? I can't wait to hear from you below. I will personally respond, if it's helpful, to each comment.